everyone, this is Nichol Spohr for Simon Says Stamp, and today we're going to create a couple of lemon themed cards using components from the Simon Says Stamp July 2022 card kit called You Shine. First, I took one of the Simple Stories pattern papers included in the kit and trimmed it to 4 by 5¼ inches. Out of one of the 6 by 8 sheets, I was able to get 2 backgrounds from one of those. For each of these backgrounds, I am going to flick on some of the Gilded Foundry wax from Tim Holtz. This is also included in the kit. Using a small paintbrush, I'm using a plastic box as my splatter box, and then I'm going to heat set that splatter. This is going to give us the look of gilded splatter all over our pattern paper background. It creates just the right amount of distress for these pretty cards. Then we're going to take the new round detail blending brushes and we are going to color our stamped images with blending brushes and positively saturated inks from Simon Says Stamp. On some of the white cardstock included in the kit, I've stamped and embossed lemon, flower, and leaf images from the You Shine stamp set using embossing ink and heat embossing with white embossing powder. I know they're a little bit hard to see since I did white on white, but as I add color and you see the embossed resist, you get that beautiful detail. I'm using Lemonade and Citrine inks for my lemons. The small, round detail blending brushes are perfect for coloring in your images. This is awesome if you don't want to take the time to color them in with Copic markers or paper piece them with pattern papers or other types of techniques. And I think the results are amazing. These new detail blending brushes are the perfect size. For the leaves and stem, I am using Celery and Perfection inks. Again, I'm using the small, round detail shading brushes to add my color. Once I've colored in the image with the inks and blending brush, I'm going to take a dry microfiber cloth, or you can use a dry paper towel or something similar, and I'm going to wipe away any of that excess ink sitting on top of the embossing. Then I'm simply going to fussy cut the images. Another option is to take the coordinating dies that you can purchase separately here at Simon Says Stamp and die cut the images. They're going to have a slight little bit of shadow outside of the stamped and embossed line, but I think that would be really pretty too and save you even a little bit more time. Now, originally I was going to just kind of trim around the images, leaving a little bit of a outer line, and then I decided about 3/4 of the way through that I didn't like that. So we're going to go back and trim right along that white embossed line with our scissors and just cut that nice and close. The embossed line really gives you a nice guide to follow. Another option is to stamp and emboss this with black embossing ink or gold, something else if you wanted to have a little bit different look. I really like the white embossing. You guys probably already know I tend to white emboss 99% of the time, but I think it looks so fresh and clean with the yellows and greens. And look how pretty this lemon is. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love this. And there you go. And just like that, you have a colored image. So quick and easy. So let's go ahead and stamp some additional images. For my first card, both cards are really similar. I just kind of used different groupings of lemons and flowers and different sentiments for each, but the backgrounds are going to be the same, and most of the images are the same. There's lots of lemon or citrus images in the You Shine stamp set. So for the first card, we're going to have the lemon wedge, the half lemon with leaves, a flower, and then I did do 2 leaves. I know I only showed 1 here, but I will end up with 2 leaves for the finished card. As I was putting it together, I realized I think I need more than just this one. Again, I'm using scraps of smooth white cardstock left over from my previous cards made with this kit. I really tried to stick with the kit. The only exception to that today is a couple of sentiment strips from a brand new sentiment strips set from the Let's Chill release, as well as a few little pearl embellishments from my stash. The foundry wax, pattern paper, and stamp set are all from the kit. Just like I did with the full-size lemon, we're going to take our small round detail shading brush and add Lemonade and Citrine inks to our lemon slices. I found what I liked best with this technique is to take the lightest and darkest colors from the yellow trio of positively saturated inks and apply them to my images. I did the same thing with the green color combination I'm using for any of the greenery. I took the lightest and darkest from that trio as well. Something that I think helps a lot in picking colors for your ink blending, or in this case coloring, or whatever the case may be, is to create some swatches. Simon Says Stamp has some amazing printed and die cut swatches, as well as a swatch stamp set that I use for all of my positively saturated inks, and it really did help me kind of pick the colors I wanted to use for these cards. Again, I'm going to take a dry microfiber cloth, buff away any of the ink sitting on top of the embossed areas, and then I did go ahead and cut those off camera. For the small flower, I'm taking my small round detail blending brush and adding a little green to the center, and then for the petals, I am using Melon and Cantaloupe orange colored inks. This is the lightest and the medium tone from this particular trio of ink colors. We'll buff away the ink and cut out our flower to add to our card. In addition, I also want to stamp and add color to another leaf like I mentioned a minute ago. I just used an acrylic block with my stamp. I felt like since I'd stamped this a couple times already that I'd probably get okay results without having to double stamp it. And then I'm just going to speed up the coloring and trimming of that out, and then we're going to put it all together. So we've already distressed our background with the gilded foundry wax. I'm going to take my background panel to my MISTI, and for the first card, I'm going to use the You Make Life Sweet greeting from the You Shine stamp set included in the kit, and stamp this with VersaFine Onyx Black ink right on the background. Then we're going to take foam adhesive and we're going to create a little scene right above our sentiment. I'm going to use my favorite foam adhesive squares from Scrapbook Adhesives. And starting with the image that's going to be in the back, I'm going to pop that one up first. Then as I add the remaining images, I'm going to lay them out where I want them to go first so I can see where to put my foam adhesive. Anywhere they overlap another image, I want to make sure and not put foam adhesive there. You can add liquid adhesive if you need to, but I did not do that in very many places. I don't think I did it anywhere on this first card. So you'll notice that about half of the lemon doesn't have foam adhesive because it's overlapping that first image. Then we have our final little lemon slice. And again, I'm going to lay that out, figure out where I want it to go, and only put foam adhesive under the portion that doesn't overlap the large lemon. I love these yellow colors against that aqua or teal buffalo check background with the bold black sentiment. These cards came together so super quick and easy. I absolutely love them. I'm going to tuck a couple of the leaf images underneath the lemon wedge and glue those directly to the background with liquid adhesive, and then glue my little flower right in front of the lemon. So the two individual leaves and the flower are attached with liquid adhesive instead of foam adhesive. I have a white top fold card base from Simon Says Stamp here. I love their pre-cut and scored card bases. I use them all the time. There is the top fold, side fold, slimline, and mini slimline, and they are my absolute favorite card bases. I'm going to attach that to my card base. It has a nice white border all the way around. I'm taking some of the reverse sentiment strips here from the Let's Chill release, and I'm just going to trim those out with my paper trimmer, add a little foam adhesive to the back, and then using my favorite T-square ruler here from Simon Says Stamp, I am going to line up my sentiment and place it where I want it to go. Now, I didn't think I got that lined up very well, and so I kind of keep fiddling with it, and I left this in because I wanted to show you guys what worked and what didn't. I think turning it to the side wasn't working, so I kind of got smart. We're going to do it straight up and down, and just like that, we have a perfectly straight sentiment. I'm going to take some of these lemon Pretty Pink Posh pearls, and we are going to attach these kind of all over the card. Just a really fun little additional embellishment. You definitely would not have to do this. Any kind of little sequin or heart or even little die cuts might be cute here. But I always like to add maybe something, just a little bit of an embellishment to my cards. And I liked the yellow of these. The name is Lemon, and so I felt like it just kind of reinforced that lemony feel of our card design. I'm using the triangle trays from Simon Says Stamp to hold on to my embellishments while I pick them up and place them on my card. So pretty. Now there is a black metallic, a flat black envelope. These are the colored envelopes from Simon Says Stamp included in the kit, and it is the perfect complementary envelope for this design. I like the black of it. I would definitely handwrite my address or the recipient's address with a white pen. Now you'll notice I also added a little embellishment to the center of my flower with the Nouveau Crystal Drops in the translucent key lime. So this is the jewel drops in the color key lime. It is translucent, but it will reinforce the green color of the center of the flower as well as give it some dimension. I am going to speed through the creation of the second card just to show you how this one came together, as well as there were some bigger areas of the foundry wax here, and so the gilding is a little bit more prominent in a few areas on this background. It's going to be different every time, and I love that. Just like before, we are going to stamp our greeting on the background. Now, I switched it up a little bit, mostly based on the sentiment and how I felt like it looked best on the card design. So this time, instead of being down below the lemons, it's going to be up above. We are going to use another sentiment strip from that Let's Chill Reverse collection, and I'm going to pop it up right underneath using my T-square ruler again. It is an invaluable tool. I considered adding a bumblebee or a butterfly. I even stamped a couple of them, but ultimately I really just like the lemons with the little flower the best. So we are going to do 2 of the full-size lemons, the other half lemon image, a leaf, and a flower for our second card design. Don't be afraid to switch it up as you're working and with whatever works with your design the best. Sometimes you change your mind partway through. I really was thinking I wanted to use other images, but I think with this color combination and this style, this worked the best. I will say that with the coordinating dies, I think if you wanted to do the butterflies, because around the antenna they're a little more detailed, I would take some of the other pattern paper included in the kit, and you could do some really fun butterfly backgrounds. You can use some of the frames from the kit. So many great ways to incorporate and do very similar coloring of these images, any of these images, and create some cards with this card kit. The images are nice and big, and so I feel like they really lend themselves well to this particular technique. Just like before, we are going to fussy cut all of these. I did 2 large lemons, half lemon, and a flower and a leaf. We're going to build our little scene down here along the bottom edge of our card, pop this onto a white top fold card base, and of course finish with a scattering of pearl gems. I'm adding the Nouveau Jewel Drop to the center of the flower again. I definitely want to make sure that sits and dries for probably a good 24 hours before placing it in an envelope and mailing it out. Just like before, we will take a white top fold card base, and adhere our panel to that card base to finish off the card design. You can always add extra sentiments inside the card if you want to. And then here is a look at both of the finished cards. I love that we were able to get 2 cards from one 6x8 sheet of pattern paper included in the kit, and how I colored in the lemons with the Pawsitively saturated inks and blending brushes. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these cards created with the July 2022 card kit called You Shine. The supplies I used are listed and linked below for your convenience. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.